Hey guys, Emily here, your Harvest Market dietitian, and today I'm going to be making some oven-baked onion rings. So in order to make this, I have my kind of three-part setup right here. This is my really standard way of breading anything. And what I have here is I just have some regular flour. You can use whatever flour you have. I have buttermilk as my liquid, and then I have my crumb. And in this one, I've got some toasted breadcrumbs, and I have some cornmeal in there as well. So what we're gonna do is this is kind of your base, and then we're gonna add just a little bit of seasoning to this so that we have some flavor in our onion rings. So I'm gonna go ahead and add chili powder. Chili powder is great because it's actually a combination of lots of different spices. So it has obviously chilies in there. It also has some onion powder, garlic powder. So it's kind of an all-in-one seasoning, which is great. So I'm gonna put some in both my flour and my crumb because we want to really season this in all of the layers so that we have, the most flavor in our onion rings. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this. And remember, a lot of this is going to be left back into the bowl, so only some of it's gonna stick. So we need to make sure that we really season it well. Another thing that I like to add is smoked paprika. So smoked paprika has a beautiful smokiness to it, as you would imagine. It's really yummy. It's kind of sweet. It kind of reminds me of like a barbecue. So good. Now, if you don't like that smoky flavor, you can absolutely leave this out. And a little bit of this goes a long way. I actually discovered smoked paprika on accident. I was going to buy regular paprika and I accidentally grabbed the smoked paprika, but it was one of the best oops mistakes that I've made ever because it's delicious. We're gonna do just a little bit of salt in each one of these. And if you have a favorite spice or seasoning or whatever that you like, add it, make it your own. Okay, so that is our seasoning right here. So we're just gonna go ahead and kind of stir these up just a little bit so it's nice and mixed. And I like to do two types of crumb for my crumb mixture. One that's a little bit bigger, so you could even do like a panko in this, and one that's really, really small and really fine, like this cornmeal, because I feel that it coats the, whatever it is that you're breading, in this case, the onion, really nicely. Okay, so I just wanna make sure that everything is kind of combined. We can see all those seasonings and spices everywhere so we don't get some plain spots and we don't get some really, really flavorful spots. It's all incorporated. Same with the flour. Now, in a lot of recipes, you'll see folks use either eggs as their liquid or buttermilk. Now, eggs are totally doable. People tend to typically have eggs in their refrigerator more so than buttermilk maybe, which is fine. I just find that buttermilk tends to stick to the onion ring a lot better. Same with chicken as well. Okay, so let's make our rings here. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the bottom and the top off. Now, when you're finding an onion to make rings, you wanna find one that is really nice and big. And I'm gonna go ahead and really take kind of like the full outer layer of this off because it's kind of thin and you really need those thick under pieces so they hold up to the cooking. Now, when you're choosing your onions, you can choose a sweet onion, like a Vidalia onion if you wanted to. You can save these if you want to make some like stock. It's a great thing to make with onion peels or excess onion pieces that you aren't using. So then we're just gonna go ahead. I like to make really thick rings so that we have kind of more surface area for the breading and all that good stuff to stick to. All right, let's see how these are. Oh yeah. And you can even keep like two of them together like this if you want to. So we're just gonna kind of start breaking these apart. Beautiful. Okay, so we're gonna dunk it in the flour, and some of that moisture on there will help that flour to stick. And we're gonna dunk it right here in the buttermilk, have any excess strip off, and then we're gonna place it here. I'm just gonna kind of toss the crumb on to the top And then I use my fingers to kind of push it down a little bit so it sticks. Ta-da! There's our onion ring. So we're gonna keep on doing this with all of our onion pieces until we get a nice full sheet pan ready to go in the oven. So we've got all of the onion rings breaded and ready to go for the oven. So now I'm just gonna spray a little bit of olive oil spray right on these guys. This will make them get really nice and crispy and browned. And I just have some parchment on the bottom. I find that it helps to evenly brown and so they don't stick and they don't burn. So I'm gonna pop these guys in a 425-degree oven for about 15 to 20 minutes until they're really nice and crispy and browned. So while our onion rings are cooking in the oven, I'm gonna whip together a really simple aioli dip sauce to go with them. Because I don't know about you, but the best part about things like this is the condiment. So I'm going to start with a little bit of Greek yogurt and mayo. So typically an aioli is all mayonnaise based. And so I like to lighten mine up a little bit by doing half of Greek yogurt. This is just plain Greek yogurt. And then half of reduced fat or made with olive oil mayonnaise. So I'm just gonna put, and about half and half. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just like a 1-to-1 ratio. Beautiful. Okay. Really simple. So we're just gonna do a little bit of salt and pepper. So what I like to do, a lot of pepper. I love pepper. What I like to do whenever I'm making a condiment to go with something, whether it's gonna be spread on top or dipped in, is I like to kind of have some of the same flavors so that it really ties the dish all together. So just like in the crumb and the flour that we used on our onion rings, I'm gonna use some of the same chili powder in here and a little bit of that smoked paprika. Beautiful. And then for a little bit of acidic bite, we're gonna do some white balsamic vinegar. So this is really nice. It's very different from the dark balsamic. It's a little lighter, it's a little fruitier, it's a little sweeter, so it goes really lovely with kind of the tanginess of the Greek yogurt. So we're just gonna go ahead and stir this all together. I really like the color that happens when we mix everything together with the smoked paprika and the chili powder. Beautiful. So this is gonna be really, really lovely dip for our onion rings. So we pulled our onion rings out of the oven and look at how crispy, crunchy they are. You want that nice brown happening on these guys. Oh my gosh. And now, feel free to add in whatever seasoning. If you're not a fan of the chili powder or the smoked paprika, you can do whatever seasoning you want. Just even do salt, pepper, some garlic powder, onion powder. And of course we have our beautiful aioli that we did to go with these guys. Absolutely beautiful. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. Don't forget to check us out on our website and Facebook. We'll see you next time.